you're here. Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity. He's out moving around and jumping around and, well, within reason.
Dancing.
So come on and talk to us today and share something good with us. We're really glad that you're here. And there's a little bottle of water under there if you need some.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, dear.
I'm so glad to be here. Yahoo! I finally made it back. Thank you. So it's springtime, moving right into summer. You got your gardens planted? Yeah, I do. And, I love seeing perennials come up. That's my big thing. It's like these old friends that you haven't seen for a while, and they were underneath the earth, and all of a sudden they're just up, starting ready to get big and bloom, especially with the heat coming in. And then I live in an HOA, so what I did was that I took my whole front yard and I turned it into mulch, and I have only a pollinators garden, but yes, I do. And we are required, however, to have a strip of grass. So I do. I have that little strip of grass. Some people really love lawns, and I understand it. It's that green, plush, velvety thing. I got some heads nodding on that one. And so, out of respect for my neighbors, when I see that yellow plant, oh my gosh, it's a dandelion. I better go get it. And so I pluck it. Now, if it was just me, I'd let it go to seed and watch the seeds go, right? But, I live in a neighborhood and I want to be considerate of other people. So I pluck out that dandelion. And that's sometimes the way we might look at the relationship that we have to the world. All of a sudden, some big old enemy. No, it's not really. But sometimes we might feel that way, or we want to keep others from hurting other people. So we look for weeds. Have you noticed that? We look for weeds. Okay, I got some head nods. You know exactly what I mean. Well, I have a mulch yard, so I do have weeds, right? But a weed is not a biological category. Weeds don't exist under a biological category, and that poor old little dandelion doesn't think, oh my gosh, I hope I don't look weedy today. Oh my gosh. A weed is simply a plant that's out of place. And it's a plant whose purpose that we just haven't understood yet, or we just are not allowing it to grow or to blossom. And today, what we want to do is to look at what happens when we stop trying to yank out and pull up everything by its roots, both in our yards and in our souls. What happens when we shift a mindset of elimination to a mindset of cultivation? And that's what we want to look at today. We really can look and have some compassion for ourselves and some non-judgment for ourselves, because we are biologically wired to look for problems, to keep ourselves safe. In the brainstem, there is a thing called the reticular activating system, RAS. And it is our evolution, and it has grown up with us, and it says it is a filtering system. Thank goodness we have a filtering system. Can you imagine if every single sensory perception that you have, every sight, every sound, everything was coming at you all at once? Well, what's what the RAS does? It's our friend who says, no, we're just going to let some things come in. But it is wired to keep us safe. It does look for the enemy. It looks for the problem. It keeps us safe. And that's our evolution. It's in our brains. It's in our part of our biology. It's like we really do take our ancestors with us. But that's okay. It's part of what is happening. So what we do with it, that relationship we have, if we create our bodies to be our enemies? No, we don't. We don't do that. We don't try to force ourselves into action. And this brings us right in to what happened a lot with Jesus. Takes us into one of the most beautiful parables that I absolutely love, and it's the wheat and the weeds. You remember that one? Maybe it's one of the most misunderstood. I don't know. So anyway, a farmer had planted all this wheat, and at some point an enemy came and threw darnel. It's a certain kind of weed into the field, and that weed, you couldn't tell it was a weed until it matured. So the disciples went and asked, "Do you want us to just rip out the darnel? You want us to get rid of those weeds so we can just have wheat?" And the master was very wise and said, "No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We're going to wait until harvest." Sometimes that harvest has been a little bit misunderstood or misspoken about, but today we're just going to look at that harvest as something that we do every single day. In Unity, what we do is we look at everything from the Bible as a part of ourselves. It's a metaphor for our lives, and that we can really learn from that. What are the weeds? The weeds are our coping mechanisms. The weeds are our shadow. The weeds are the parts of us that, served us at one time, and maybe that's not helping us today, but we can't just yank it out, rip it up. We don't do that. We wait. We work with it. Our weeds and our wheat are growing from the same soil. Well, what is the soil? The soil is our minds. And we live in that mind of God that's fed by the same human heart. So the weeds are our conditioned patterns, our shadows, our coping mechanisms, our fears. But what do we do with it? And that's really the point. When we realize that we just don't eliminate our flaws, I don't know about you, but I haven't been very successful at that one. So we take it into what? We take it into that holy compost bin in the heart. We take it into bring it inside. And just if you have a compost pile in your backyard, it has to be turned, it has to be worked, it has to be looked after. But the weeds that you threw on that compost pile, what you've gotten rid of, turns into the richest soil that we can live and use for our lives. And that's exactly what happens when we take our flaws, that parts of us, our fears, and we bring it into the heart. And we ask that it be changed and transformed, and it becomes a part of us and makes us into a very strong way. And we have to look at it when we realize that we're not just getting rid of that itself, that looking within. Every time we take that and look within, that is self-compassion. We are having compassion for ourselves. When we say, "Oh, I know I'm being really sharp. I know that I ordered some hose. I was putting in an irrigation system and I got the wrong kind. And do you know how mad I was?" I was really aware that I was looking for somebody to blame, and there was Mark. Mark is kind. After 30 some years, he understands. So, but, and I had to say, I apologize that I'm so irritated. I really want to blame someone. So taking that sense of wanting to blame someone into the compost pile of my heart, as I know will be transformed. And it was transformed. Mark just hugged me. Just love. That's all it is. So when we look at that compost pile, that sense of compassion, self-compassion, we have to be a little careful because compassion can be tricky. In Buddhist philosophy, which goes very hand in hand with New Thought, we have the near enemy of compassion and the far enemy of compassion. And if you've read Dr. Brene Brown, she used that a lot in her teachings as well. The far enemy of compassion is the opposite of compassion. And what would that be? Cruelty, anger, hatred. And that's easy to see. But the tricky part, that part is something that we can think is compassion, and it's not. The near enemy of compassion is pity. When we look at someone and says, "Oh, bless their little hearts," that's not compassion, that's pity. We may think we're compassionate, but in that moment, we're able to separate ourselves. We are creating a hierarchy. We're creating this hierarchy that says, I am up here and I got the right way, and oh, bless your little heart down there. No, that is pity. That's not compassion. It might help us in the moment, but it's still pity, and it creates separation. New Thought minister Michael Beckwith talked about that this idea of separation between God's life and my life is something that takes a lifetime to unpack, to know that there is no separation. There's no separation. And it's something I know that James and Leah teach at Unity of Greenville, and it's one of the reasons why I love coming here is that not only are you child of God, that God is consciousness and you have that consciousness, but you all are spiritual grown-ups. You have taken that child of consciousness, that child of God, and said, okay, I own it, I do it, and I'm going to work it. And that's the responsibility of being a spiritual grown-up. No matter how old you are, sometimes the spiritual grown-ups are like 2 and 3. Have you noticed? They're really cool. So when we look at what we can do differently and how we can work with it, when we're looking at those weeds in the harvest, Myrtle Fillmore, mother of Unity, had quite a bit of ways to work very clearly with becoming that spiritual grown-up. She knew she had to have a different relationship with her body. With her physical body, she had to have a different relationship. She couldn't pretend like that body didn't exist and, I'm above the body and all that. No, she didn't do that at all. How many people have heard the healing story of Myrtle Fillmore? Let's see your hands. Come on, I know you've done it. Yeah. Almost everybody has heard the story of Myrtle Fillmore, and I'm going to tell you just real briefly. But in meditation today, we're going to do the practice. We're going to do what Myrtle taught us to do and how to heal the body. But basically, she had tuberculosis, and at the time where she was living, it was the turn of the 19th century or 1900s. Tuberculosis was treated like, you're a really weak person and you're a real sickly person. And so her conditioned mind was that she was going to die young and that she was going to be real sick. She heard a man speak, and that man said, "No, you don't inherit. You are a child of God. You don't inherit sickness." So she just had that big aha that we sometimes get when we hear just the right thing. And that big aha was, I'm a child of God and I don't inherit illness. I have perfection in my body. And so she taught us how to have that different relationship with our body and go through cell by cell and area by area and say, forgive me, I didn't know you were alive. I didn't know you existed like that. You are a child of God, and I'm going to work with you too. So that's what we'll do later. But when we stop warring with our inner landscapes, the outer landscapes of our lives begin to change. We begin to move from the mindset of ownership and dominion into the consciousness of kinship. We are kin with all life. All life. We are interdependent, interconnected, and there is no separation in the mind of God and with all the fairies and gnomes and creatures of the planet. There's no difference. There's no difference. So I'm getting some nods, some interdimensional communicators out there. Okay. Native American, who's a brilliant botanist and author, Robin Wall Kimmerman, writes beautifully about how we must listen to plants. She suggests that when we view the natural world, that it's not just a collection or something that serves us, but it's not just a community of subjects down there to do something. But it's our life, and how we open to that kinship with the world changes like nothing else will change us. So we take care of the soil, and the soil takes care of us. We adopt this new thought and ancient wisdom. We realize that we are a part of the interconnection, the kinship with all life. The divine didn't make a mistake when it created variety. The divine did not make a mistake when it created wilderness and wildness. The wilderness isn't something to be tamed and be paved over. It's a living web of participation. And that wilderness can be our front yards, our backyards. It can be a national park or wherever. But we are participating in this wonderful thing we call life that is interconnected in all the ways that we are. So, in conclusion, let's say that we're prepared to really work with our reticulating activating system, our RAS. Thank you so much for keeping us all safe, and we all got here. And we're going to expand in a way that once we stop creating enemies, then what happens? We get curious. When we stop being judgmental, then what happens? Wow. We get some spaciousness in our minds. Really? That's happening with me? So we just allow ourselves to know that we are the wheat. We are the wheat. We are the harvest. And yes, sometimes we're the weeds. We are the weeds. But we're growing together. And all of that is very beautiful. It's wild. It's a sacred garden. The sacred garden of God. That we live and breathe and have our being in this mind of God. There's only one life. God's life. We're it. Thank you.
When I look at the universe, I sense the wonder of it all. And I can feel the power, and I can hear a call. When I look into the heavens, I see the stars that shine above, and I can feel, oh, the presence of a universal love. And I'm one with the oneness. Yes, I'm one with the oneness. I am one with the oneness of all that is. When I look to Mother Nature, all the flowers, birds, trees, you know, somehow I can sense a heartbeat that loves and cares for all my needs. We're living in the light of a shining sun. Oh, and I believe that all things will return unto the one, and I'm one with the oneness. Yes, I'm one with the oneness. I am one with the oneness of all that is. Let's sing it together. We are one. And we are one with the oneness. We are one with the oneness. And we are one with the oneness of all that it is, of all that is. And we are one. Thank you.
One with the oneness. Just close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And we'll take a deep breath. Inhale and just connect to the exhale. Allow your eyes to soften behind your closed eyes or open eyes, letting your shoulders drop from your ears. we enter that sacred space at Myrtle called the silence. That part of us has stopped telling stories. That part of us is no longer holding back. That sacred, quiet space. We'll speak directly to each part of our body. And we begin with our feet. I'm sorry, feet. I didn't know. I forgot. I'm sorry, feet, that I have forgotten how much you carry. So we'll speak the truth to our feet. Thank you. Thank you for carrying the weight of my life. And thank you for walking me through the smooth paths, the rocky terrains. And I thank you, feet. I thank you, ankles. I thank you, legs. You are alive with the pure, wholesome energy of God. You are active. You are strong. You are supported by divine. I release any old, tired ideas of heaviness and fatigue. You're drawing your strength directly from the unlimited spiritual source, and we move with ease and we step with joy. Breathe into your legs and feel the Christ light moving up your legs, up into your abdomen, your vital organs, moving up with that awareness into the deep center of our bodies, our lower back, our digestive system, our hips. And we say, I'm sorry, I forgot. And I'm here to claim. I feel the life. I feel the life flowing and through me, through my vital organs, through my abdomen. You're no longer filled with those ignorant ideas of disease, age, limitation, and I strip away every negative diagnosis and fear. I inherit worry, and I've projected onto you, and I have forgiven. I feel innocent. You are not weak. You are the very activity of the divine, and we digest our lives in a way that's very complete. And take a moment to just breathe into any organ or area in your abdomen that may need just a little bit more attention, and acknowledge that Christ light within you, in the front and in the back. Any areas of tension are being released now as you acknowledge the living life of each area. And we move into our chest, to our heart space, that beautiful, amazing heart space. Open, wide, vast. We feel that our whole chest, our lungs, our heart, and we say, thank you, thank you. We are the rhythm of God. We see the Christ right here in the center of the chest and are filled with the sweet, pure energy of the Christ, of the divine love, the sweet energy the sweet and holy love, perfect, complete. We relax in our peace and perfectly safe. Moving up, we allow that energy to go into our shoulders and our arms and our hands. We say, oh, I haven't treated you well. I forgot, and I'm sorry. And we feel that sense of forgiveness washing over us, where we are innocent, and we acclaim all the ways that you have hugged, I hug you back. And all the love that you have created and all the service that you have performed. We feel the energy coming back to us now as instruments of divine grace. Pure divine grace. Flexible, painless. And bring your heart and your attention and your breath together, and any area in your chest that you just want to give your little bit more love, and let that go down to your arms, to your shoulders and your hands. And I breathe in and I breathe out, breathing in the freshness of life, breathing out anything that needs release from the throat, the expression of the absolute truth of being. Through the throat, we say, we speak the truth. And how grateful I am for the confidence that for no reason, for nothing that I've done, for nothing that I've earned. And yet we speak the truth. How grateful, how totally grateful I am. As you allow yourself to just be with your throat. And allowing that energy to come up into your eyes and into your face so that you can see the perfect expression of sight. My mind is clear. So that you can feel that clarity, a clarity that is beyond anything that you have done to earn it. This clarity is the eyes of the heart, the eyes of God. We see through now clearly. Every nerve, every muscle, every fiber of it is able to feel and see and live. How grateful we are to our eyes. We take a moment to just hear the silence beneath my words, as we are able to just attach to that silence, and we say, thank you, I hear you. I hear that collective joy, that collectiveness of all of love now, how we're bringing that healing light in our mouth, our eyes, our ears, our nose. And we take just a moment to pause any little area that you might need to say, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't understand, but now I do. And I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Take a moment and feel your breath. Feel a moment. As you come into your brain and you think, the back of your brain, the basic brain, that keeps your lungs moving without you thinking about it, that keeps your heart pounding without you thinking about it, and that this is the great perfection. And in the back of the brain, we have that RAS. We go, thank you for keeping me safe. And we're going to change gently. We'll change very gently. And together we'll expand. Thank you. Thank you. Every cell vibrating, recognition of its own divinity. Take a moment to just breathe and soak it in. We are alive. We are listening. We are loved. And feel the truth of this deeply into every cell, every bone, as we prepare ourselves to know this great truth at a level that you can take into the world this day and in all ways. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in the freshness of your new life and out all the ways that you can express yourself. And so it is. Amen.
All right, invite it gently come out of your meditation. Breathing, knowing that everything is working good. Absolutely.